let's talk about the birth certificate. I tend to not go too much into it because most people know about it. But the fact is that it's not your name. So when these people say, oh, I'm going to start doing a limited company in my name, I go, why? Why are you doing it? Well, I've heard that if I do this, I can access my SETA KV trust and I can get millions back. Well, good luck with that, because it's Crown copyrighted. Read the Birth and Deaths and Marriages Act 1953, and it tells you in the first paragraph who owns the birth certificate. It tells you. Everything you do, the remedy is in plain sight. Everything. So when I start hearing people say, yeah, I'm going to access my SETA KV trust, there is a way of doing these things, but not the way it's in the public. There's too much in social media, too much going around saying, oh yeah, we can do this, we can do that. And then you look at it and you go, but why are you telling the public? You got to keep it in the private. How many people here would like to travel privately around the world with no passport, no customs, and do it? So why aren't you doing it? I had an argument with a guy in a coffee shop a while back, and he said, look, I want to travel British Airways. He said, but I don't want to give my passport over. So, well, you can't travel British Airways because it's a public entity. And they went, yeah, but I want to travel in the private. Then rent a bloody plane. That's how they all do it. When people say, oh, look at those 2,500 jets flying into Davos. Yeah, because they're all in trusts. They're all individually private. So they can do it. No customs, no passport control, no border control. A man has the right to travel freely. So are you a man or are you a person? And what is man? It's a race, isn't it? But the system corrupted it and created womb man, or W-O-M-B-A-N, womb man, because you have a womb. Exactly, but you're all man. It's in the Bible. Scripture holds a lot on what we do, because the Bible is a book on commerce. It's a Bible on how to run your life. It's a Bible on how to deal with every day that comes into your life. When people say, oh, did you see what the government's doing now? They're talking, oh, they're going to get rid of cash. They're going to get rid of this. I go, I don't give a damn. It's not my business. I'll do what I want to do. Cash is going anyway. Cash is king. Who's just been coronated? King. And whose face is no longer appearing on money? They're not printing any money with the king's head on it, are they? So that was the catalyst for getting rid of cash. It's all going to go digital. People are worried about it, but then I talk to people, they go, yeah, we're doing crypto. Well, that's got no substance either. It's just numbers on a screen. So what's the difference? Yeah, but cash is, you've got physical. Yeah, it's not cash. It's not cash. It's not money. Money does not exist except in gold and silver. Simple as that. To be honest, what the most valuable thing you got in your pocket at the moment is maybe a 10p or a 2p, because it's got silver and nickel in it. It's worth more than a £20 note, because a £20 note is a promise to pay. They both know that. If you read under the Bank of England, I promise to pay the bearer the sum of £20 on demand. Go into the Bank of England and say, I'm here to collect my £20 of gold. Guess what? They'll give you another £20 note and march you out and lock the door. Okay? Because they can never fulfill the debt. It's in the Bank of England's policies and procedures. They can never fulfill the debt. The best film ever to watch to find out what's going on is The Wizard of Oz. Everything's in there. Demolition Man, Terminator, The Matrix. Yeah. If you want to see what's really going on, watch Idiocracy. Anybody seen that one? Idiocracy. 2005. Great film. I'm not going to tell you the story. Idiocracy. Idiocracy. Don't ask me to spell it. It's a Friday night. I've got a pint sitting over there. So at the end of the day, we've got to look at how we're going to handle things. So I look at things, like I say, from a different perspective. Purely on the basis of, if you don't know who you are inside, you should not be doing any of these processes. Because if you cannot stand your ground toe-to-toe with a police officer or with a bailiff or a debt collector on your doorstep, you should not be doing any of these processes. I'm sorry. Whilst everyone's doing, because I look at it this way, just because someone said we should be doing these processes, I say, so if they said, go and jump off the cliff, would you do the same? No, because it takes a lot of inner strength and a lot of energy expelled to do these processes. Do you mind me asking how many documents you've done?
Just one.
Just one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So far.
So far?
Yeah.
I know you put your hand up before. Have you done many processes?
Yeah.
How many hours do you think you've wasted? I mean, you spent on that.
Well, it's not sort of worse, it's all
No.
education, isn't it?
Of course it is. You learn by doing.
And then you just basically settle with the path that you sort of understand.
But the way I look at it now is I'm dealing with a lot of people who are drowning in these 3 notice processes. They're drowning in the conditional acceptances. And I say, you're on this planet to live. You're on this planet to learn and live, not drown in paperwork and not go out on a Sunday afternoon in the sunshine. Sorry, have you had any sunshine here this year? It's what we want to do. We're trying to bring communities together to build things. But I will help guide people through. So yes, I've got out of parking tickets. I came back to find a parking ticket sat on my windscreen. I went, cheeky buggers. So I went straight to the council office. I went to the reception and said, this was left on my windscreen. It's not addressed to me. I said, so I don't know who it is, but I'm not opening it because I'll cause mail fraud. So thank you very much, and drove off. Never heard anything more back. Of course, I didn't open the envelope and create the contract. I've had these ones with the ANPR cameras that shows a vehicle entering and leaving. What's missing in that document? Sorry? There is missing. Where's the evidence you actually bloody parked there? Just because there's a picture of a picture or an image, which NASA show you images, because they're all fake, just because there's an image of a vehicle coming in and going out, there's no evidence you actually parked there. You could have been driving around for 3 hours trying to find a parking space. So think logically. Thank you very much for these pictures. Not my car, because I can't get into that. It's too bloody small. However, where's the evidence? And that's what I always test. Evidence and witness. Most important thing you need to ask. Speeding. Usual thing. 50-mile-an-hour zones on motorways popping up everywhere, aren't they? And you get done at 55. Okay, first of all, check the police and check what their local tolerance level is. Most of them are 10% plus 2. Some are 10% plus 3. The Met Police have no tolerance level at all. So you go 1 mile over, they're going to get you. But they can say they class you as driving. What is driving? As a person who's driving in commerce for an employer. So we got a young lad called Dean who's successfully now beaten every speeding offence he's ever had, and he's now coming onto the community. When he's better, he got run over. He's in a terrible state. He's going to Salisbury Neuro to be taught how to walk again. But he challenged it. He asked a question. You claim I was a driver. Show me the evidence that you have on me that I am a driver working in commerce. The chief constable couldn't answer the question. He put the points back onto his licence and gave him his £800 fine back. And he's doing this all the time. This is the sort of stuff we can do. I mean, the best one is, has anybody got any documentation with them or anything like that? With them, have they got any letters? No, that's a shame, because I could have picked one apart. Best one is, it comes to your name on the left-hand side. What's the left-hand side deem you as? Sorry, dry throat. Yeah, debtor. So that's what they say. Now, what colour ink should you use when you write back to people? Purple. Why? Exactly. I've done that. I've gone, oh, I've got to put it in blue, and I've got to sign it in purple, and I've got to put a full stop in red. So I've done all this. And I sat there one day, and Jen knows, and I sat there and went, sorry, young man. Oh, sorry. This is a load of, because at the end of the day, who told you what to do? School did. Oh, it's something to do with sovereignty. And I sat there one day and I went, nah, I'm going to do what I did. So I started putting things in lime green and shocking pink and sending them off. And they still worked, because I knew what to put in the documentation. I knew how to work it. But the one thing, there's a word in there that always catches people out. Anybody know what that word might be? It's usually in the first sentence or the first paragraph of what they're sending you. You. Who is you? Can anybody tell me that, please? Could be anything. You is a sheep. Said. E-W-E. But who is you? So when they come to you, oh, you are liable, I go back and say, who are you talking to? I'm me. I can never be you. Can I be you? No. Can you be me? No. So I go back to them. Thank you for your correspondence. I'm known as we, us, and them. I never class myself as I never class myself as me. Anybody know why? Cool, yes, and it's also a sign of begging. And if you use the wrong I, i.e. the one with the line at the top and bottom, means you've been decapitated. If you use it with the dot on the top, means it's a body, the body of Christ. And if you start using the word me, it's begging. Like when someone say, please can you accept this document? Why would you say please? Please is begging. It comes in, what was that film? Oh, was it Oliver Twist? Please, sir, can I have some more? You're begging. Never say please. Never say sorry. What does sorry mean? Not the Ronnie Corbett thing. Sorry? Yeah. You're admitting your guilt. You're admitting everything to them. You only ever apologise.
But do we not sometimes in life cause people harm or damage? Not in a real sense, maybe, but is it not polite to say, sorry?
It can in the private, of course you can. I can say whatever I like in here because this is public and private. If I'm dealing with a police officer or dealing with a debt collector, then that's another matter. I mean, debt collector, I'd like to make him into a speed bump, but you can't really because that's causing harm. Obviously, if you fell over and your car rolled forward, then prove the car did it. But we've got to look at the way we handle things. So I always look at things, and when I send documentation back and say, you claim to be sending this letter to someone called you. Can you please define who you is? Because I'm not you, have ever will be you, and never can be you. So therefore, I assume that you must be you, so therefore you are liable for the payment, so please send your payment to me. Basically what you're doing is you're turning the tables on. I use the system against the system, and I don't fight it. I don't ask for obligation, I ask for evidence. And if they class me as you, after I've sent them a documentation stating that they are we, us, and them, and they write back to, oh, you are still liable, I'll just send another one back to, why are you writing to yourself? I'll send it back. I don't care what I write anymore. TFL, ULEZ charges and all that lot, we had Marston's on the doorstep. Got rid of him pretty quickly. Your son dealt with it, but we know how to deal with them. I've dealt with debt collectors. They're great fun because they have no jurisdiction. But a lot of people are still driven by fear. How many people here right now would be scared if a police officer walked in here and said you're under arrest? Probably, yeah. How many people will go toe-to-toe with the debt collector? Happily, yes. There's a few out there. Good. So how do you deal with them? Offer of contract needs to be asked and negotiated 3 times. Yeah? It's in the Bible. Peter was tested 3 times in Scripture. So that's how they use the power of 3 against you. So let's think about the contracts they send you. They'll send you a contract, or they'll send you an offer, and they say you must pay within 28 days. Take, for instance, you take out a new mobile phone contract, and you miss the first payment. What's the worst they're going to do? Send you a reminder. Possibly, they may cut you off depending on how nasty they feel, but they'll send you a reminder, and then they'll send you a final reminder. So they've sent you 3 notices in total. They'll send you the first letter, thank you very much for joining us, then you fail to pay, and then they can send you a final reminder. And then they'll send you a 4th one, which is usually classed as what's called an estoppel. An estoppel is basically their debt collector. They want to prove liability of the debt. Liability just means you have the ability to lie. When you break the words down, the etymology of words, you can use them against them. So why do the council tax always go for summonses and then go to liability orders against you? Because the CEO does not want to lie to you. So what can you do against the CEO of council tax? Take him to court. We have done that. We got Andy Wright on my group, has successfully taken 2 CEOs, one of a council, one of another company, I don't know who it is, but taken them to court and got CCJs against the CEOs. Those CEOs are no longer CEOs. They've been removed from office because they're not allowed to get CCJs against them. So it's a process. Thank you very much for your offer. This is my offer. You claim you want me to pay £1,000. Can you show me the evidence that you actually fund the police? Can you show me the evidence that you do this, do that? We know they can't. So they'll come back with some cock and bull story. Well, thank you for your unresponsive correspondence from Mrs. Squiggle. I wrote to the CEO. How dare Mrs. Squiggle get involved in my private affairs? Keep your bloody nose out and here's a fee schedule for your troubles. Contact me again, I'll send you a bill for £1,000. Because that's what I'll do. And I'll go after the CEO again. And then you get another one from Mr. Squiggle. Because they'll pass it around the office. Say, I'm not dealing with this. You deal with him. So you go back to him and just send another notice back. Keep your nose out of my private affairs. If I'm writing to the CEO, that's a private trust between me and him or her. I don't want anybody sticking their nose in my business. So we will follow a process. We will then get that sorted. Council tax is one of the most hardest ones to get rid of. I used a promissory note to get rid of mine. And that's where we go mostly at the moment. We're using promissory notes to get rid of everything because it bloody works. We failed multiple times on promissory notes, but now we use them effectively. Heather on the group, 26,000 self-assessment tax written off. Dean, the young lad who got run over, followed the promissory note process I'd created. He got rid of his bounce back loan for 19,000. Simon's just sent his promissory note off to pay off his mortgage. So you can do all this. And a lot of people are unsure how to do it. There's people saying, oh, you got to put a stamp, you got to put thumbprint, you got to put blood or whatever else, or urinate over, I don't know. But I just look at it and say, no, you don't. Where in the Bill of Exchange does it say you've got to do all that? Where in the Bill of Rights does it say you've all got to do that? In the Bill of Rights, that's how you get out of a parking fine. Do you know that? Bill of Rights, 1689. Go and have a read of it. It'll tell you how to get rid of a parking fine. It's very simple. One paragraph is all you need. And it'll disappear. Because they can't force something on the man. They can force it on the person. But it's in the Bill of Rights to protect you. 1689. There's also one before it, 1688. Got a little bit in there, but the 1689 is a better one. So, council tax is hard to get rid of. You've got to know what you're doing. So use a promissory note, get rid of it. Make an offer to them. If they come back and say they don't return your promissory note, what have they then done? Anybody know? Any police officers in here? Have they not stolen cash? Because a promissory note under Lord Denning's case law 1969, Fielding versus Platt, proved that no business can refuse a promissory note because they're classed as cash unless they have a lawful excuse. Just saying we do not recognise, transact or accept a promissory note is not a lawful excuse. It's in the case law, and case law stands. So we use that against them. So when they come back and they say, oh, we don't accept promissory notes, well, where's my promissory note then? I just wrote your promissory note for £30,000. What have you done with it? Well, it's like this. We don't accept them. Again, where's my promissory note? This is now police matter. This is now going to the fraud squad because you've now stolen £30,000. And we've now got the golden ticket where we're now tracing the serial numbers. Once the lady gets back to me with a Zoom call, we're now going to be able to trace the serial numbers of our promissory notes to make sure they've been securitized on the stock market or the Securities Commission. So therefore, we can now say, actually, you've cashed it. So now are you now not demanding money with menace? You do realise that carries 16 years in prison. Carries more than a murder. Fraud is worse than murder, apparently, because you're going to go there. But using promissory note, if you don't do it right, you can get into trouble. Look up Winston Shrout. He was doing this in America. He's now serving life sentence in a federal max prison for causing fraud against his strawman. He was writing promissory notes and banking them in his bank to the tune of $88 million. So he was trying to defraud his strawman, so they got him. He ran away for a couple of years, then the FBI got him. He's now serving life in a Fed max prison. He'll never come out. Simple as that. He'll be murdered in prison. Because he raged against the machine. That just came to me. Where's that from? Group, isn't it? So we don't want to fight the system. We want to work with the system. There's a guy down in Brighton called Martin. I don't know if you know Martin Ansell. Have you ever heard him? He goes into Waitrose. This is not what I would agree to, so I will say that straight off. He goes into Waitrose because Waitrose has got nowhere that says you have to pay for your food. So he goes in, fills his shopping trolley up, and walks out. For me, that's theft. And that's causing loss to someone because someone took the time to put that in a tin or in a packet, so you're causing loss. But he's proving a point that nowhere does it state. So when he got caught one day, he said, well, can you show me your terms and conditions that state you need to pay for this? And it's not in the terms and conditions. So if it's not included, it means it's excluded. Same as what I did. Don't know if anybody saw my TikTok video I did with Starbucks. It was during the scandemic. I went in there, well, it was just during or after the lockdowns. And I think Starbucks announced they were only taking digital money, your debit card. And I went in there and I said, oh, I was waiting for my van to fail its MOT. Went in there and I said, I'll have one of those, please. They said, yeah. I said, here's you, £4.35. And they went, sorry, we don't accept money. I went, really? Is your manager here? Yes. Can I have a word? Manager came out and said, can you please show me your terms and conditions of your business that stipulates you do not accept cash? Well, we're a cashless business now. I said, that's not what I asked. I need to see your terms and conditions of business that prove you are a cashless society. Well, it's not. I said, so you haven't stipulated in your terms that you're cashless. Well, no, so therefore you accept cash. Because if you haven't excluded it, it's included. End of. I sat down, had my coffee, and it's like they're looking at it going, what do we do with it? Will it go in the till on its own? Sort of thing. But I did it. And that one video got just over 800,000 hits. Because I proved to people you can do this. It's one of those things. So promissory notes is our key at the moment, what we do. We have other processes. We'll help anybody. We don't turn anyone away. And one thing that we are different with in the community is we do not charge any fees whatsoever. There is a membership to join the Private Members Association because we want everybody to be in the private, which pays for the website and helps people in financial trouble. But I don't charge any fees whatsoever one-to-ones. I always ask for a donation or energy exchange. Because a true community should not rely on money. A true community should work on people working together and exchanging their energies. So I've had people give me a piece of shungite, or they've given me an energy healing, or they've given me some artwork purely on helping them out. So I'll say, yeah, I'll help you, I'll guide you that. Hello? What can you offer me? And they'll come back and they'll say, well, I can do this, this, and this. And we do it. So that's how we work amongst the community. Electricity and gas. Everybody's doing things, aren't they? Changing meters, doing this, doing that, doing this and doing that. I never did any of that. All I did was, as a consumer, I cancelled my services. Thank you very much. I no longer require your services. My contract with you is now terminated as of the 1st of July 2021. And I no longer require your services because I'm moving. I never told them I was moving out. I told them I was moving because I moved from room to room. I gave them another address to send the final bill to. So from there, they took the presumption I moved out, but I didn't. I stayed living there for another 18 months before I then gave up the house, moved into a van. So I did that. I thought, that was easy. When the bill came, sent a promissory note. Didn't really work first off, so I sent another one. And then I sent another one. And I thought, what am I doing? I'll give them the 3 lots now. Then I went, I'll send them a promissory note estoppel. And it worked. Got my bill paid. Water. I didn't have gas, but I'd do the same thing for gas. I just cancel my services. I wouldn't change my meter because you never own the meters. The meters always belong to the property unless you register the meter with a limited company, and that limited company then creates an ECOS database entry, and that ECOS database then stipulates who actually owns the meter. So ECOS database holds the serial numbers of everybody's meter registered to EDF or whatever. If you haven't registered with it, they're not yours. So that's why they can come in and take your meters out. Because they're not yours. They say, sorry, we're going to put ours in, and sorry, we're going to disconnect you. So it's another way of thinking ahead. Okay, I've got to do this, got to do that. All I did from that point there was I kept sending a meter reading to the national grid. Because the national grid pushed the power out. That's all they do. So I sent to them, and I had a letter back saying, sorry, we don't charge for electricity. I said, I know. But I'm just telling you, there's usage at this property. But I didn't respond in my name, I responded as the occupier. Because they kept writing to the occupiers. And I sent the occupier, hello, we're the occupiers. This is the serial number of the meters. There is usage here. Here's our meter reading, thank you very much. Signed by someone called the witness. Never heard anything back. Electric gone. Water? What is water? What's the chemical makeup of water? H2O, allegedly. Where's the evidence? So, what do they put in water? I don't care. I don't care. Because at the end of the day, I know they put stuff in it. So if you go to the bar now and ask for a glass of water, and then say, can you put some orange in that, is that still water? No, it's not. It's orange water. The chemical makeup has physically changed. So are they now not defrauding you by saying it's water? Think about it. Thames water. No, it's not. It's Thames sludge. All you're drinking is recycled urine and feces. That's all you drink. Sorry, but it's got a bit of a tang to it, apparently. So think about this. As a... I'm going to get the wording right. They are a service provider and you are a service user. You're not a consumer. So go back to them. Oh, thank you very much for the offer of this bill, but I believe you add things to your water. I say believe because I don't know for certain. I've never seen it physically added to the water, so it's a belief. I believe you add things to the water. So therefore, it's not clean. For me, I want pure spring water. Is there such a thing? There most probably is. But I want pure water. And as a man, it's my right to have pure water. So I'll happily pay your bill once you confirm to me that the water coming out my tap is pure. This must be tested every day for 365 days, and then I will pay your bill. Once you prove to me it's pure, no added chemicals. And that's how I did it with my water. And they just came back and they went, thank you very much, your account is closed.
What, over the phone or?
No, I just sent them a notice, letter. I was going to do a standard notice, but I just did a letter. I thought, do you know what, sod you. You'll have what I want to give you. And that's where you need to get. How many people like using templates? They are. Of course they're convenient, but isn't not a template going to get you into trouble? Because they're now coming back at you saying, thank you for your web-generated template. A template is the building block. It has to be used as a scaffolding. Use it, change it, abuse it, whatever you need to do. Change the wording. TFL, I mentioned before, they tried doing me for ULEZ. And now I went back to him, I went, Mr. Andy Lord, I said, thank you very much for your notice. I said, but if you'd like to show me that the air quality, and that day I travelled through your ULEZ zone, was actually cleaner than outside the ULEZ zone, I'll happily pay your bill. It went on a bit, so then I got rather stroppy. I should have got the email ready because I'm running out of time. But I'll show people the email. I then sent him an email. I thought, do you know what? I'm going to do what I want to do. And there's lots of swear words in it. Lots of see you next Tuesdays. Lots of F-offs. And you can shove that where the sun don't shine. Because there's no way I'm paying your stinking bloody bill. Because there's no way I'll step foot in your stinking bloody city ever again. You have shown me no evidence whatsoever that the air quality is better. So you can shove it. Case closed. Done. Gone. I took control. And this is what I'm trying to teach people now. Not teach, I don't like the word teach. I try to guide people. I want people to understand that they have the power to do this. You have the power, you have the tools in your head. You just need to have someone to guide you and open the filing cabinet that's already in there. You've got the knowledge to do everything. You don't need a teacher. You don't need to sit on a course. You don't need to sit there and go, oh, I'm going to be sovereign, I'm going to do this and that. You don't need it because you're already sovereign. You're already sovereign, you're already alive. That's a difficult when you say to a police officer, I'm alive, and he goes, prove it. How do you prove you're alive to someone? Sorry? That's assault. How do you prove? There's only one way you can prove you're alive. No, that's not proof of life. Your baptism certificate is proof of life under equity and contract law. So if you've got a baptism certificate, the original, signed in blue, that proves you are alive. I got mine from St Martin's Church in Guernsey. It's in my, it was in my car, I think it's in my van. But I carry it with me. So there you go, proof of life. I mean, a copper says, you were speeding, prove it. I had it on the M6, not speeding. Yeah, I did actually, got out of it. Come back from Croston, I was doing about 85, 11:30 at night. I don't encourage speeding. The boot was open, out of tailwind. But I suddenly got these blue lights behind me, followed by I went, hello. He says, you were speeding. I went, this is the first time I ever did this. And words just fell out my mouth. I don't know how, but they did. And I went, prove it. He said, I was on the bridge, and I saw you bombing down the road at 90 miles an hour. I said, oh, are your eyes calibrated to the speed cameras? And I sat there going, And he went, no, no, no. He said, I saw you come down. I said, but the lights are out. It's maintenance on the motorway. It's all out. I said, are your eyes calibrated for night vision? And he went, no, no, no. I said, so you got no evidence, so it's hearsay. And he went, you were speeding. He said, I'm going to arrest you. I said, who's you? He said, you. I said, who are you talking to? And then he got a little bit further. And I said, can you get your sergeant down here, please? He said, why? I said, because I want to prove who the witness was. I said, you claim I was speeding. Show me the evidence. Who's the witness? Sergeant comes down. This was after about an hour and a half sitting there, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. There's a tune there. Oh, no, it's black and yellow, isn't it? But after going back and forth with him, the sergeant comes up and he goes, good evening, Mr. Barlow. I went, don't call me that. He went, what? I said, I'm not in the army. He said, what? I said, Mr. is a military title. Don't call me that. I said, my name's Andy. Okay, Andy Barlow. I said, no, do not call me Andy Barlow. My name is Andy. Is that too difficult to understand? And he's doing I'll add something into this, what I did say to him. I said, look, this is simple questions I'm asking you. Were you dropped on your head as a baby? Are you generally slow? Why can't you answer my questions? And he looked at me and he went, are you a sovereign nutter? I went, no, I'm not. I said, I'm alive, I'm a man, and I'm a sovereign. I said, so where's the harm, where's the loss, who's the witness, and what crime have I committed? Well, he claims, I said, he's claimed we showed no evidence. He just saw a car coming down the motorway, thought he'd try and make some money out of me. So this is going to go one of two ways. I want both your badge numbers, and I want your names, and I want your addresses. I said, I'm going to take you to court. I said, because already my bill at the moment is up to £50,000. I said, you're wasting my time. I said, I'm travelling from A to B. I said, so you've got two choices now. Either let me go, or you'll both be fined, and you'll be charged, and you'll be invoiced, and your union will not look after you. Mr. Barlow, thank you for your time. Enjoy your journey. Driving for 10 miles down the M6 going, oh my God, are they following me? Whatever, but they didn't. So it was really good. Again, in Costa, this is the one. If you've got the confidence to do these things, try playing the system. Went into Costa. It was, again, on late night, come back from Croston doing a talk at the Crown. And I went in there and I said, oh, can I have give me a chai latte with an extra shot in it as well. He said, yeah, okay. And then they gave me the coffee. They didn't put it through the till because they were just, I said, oh, thank you very much for my free coffee. No, I got to pay for it. So, where? Where's I got to pay for it? Well, you don't get coffee for free. I said, well, at no point did you ask me for any money. I said, so I'll tell you to give me my free coffee. Thank you very much. And he went, no, you got to pay for it. I said, well, you haven't told me that. I said, you've given me the product and now you're asking me to pay for it? Is that not fraud? Is that not deception? And he went, oh, I need to get my manager. So the manager came out. He asked me the same question, are you a sovereign nutter? Because I said to him, look, I'll pay you. Look, here you go. I'll pay you. Here's a penny. He said, what? I said, I'll be honourable. I said, I'm not going to walk away without offering something back in return. Here's a penny. And he went, if I take it, will you go away? I went, yeah. Gave him the penny, got my coffee for a penny. Because I play the system. But I try and stay in honour at all times. I'll always not be belligerent, I'll not be rude or arrogant. I can be when my buttons are pushed, and I say, right, that's it, enough's enough. I'm pushing your button now, pal. But if you stay in honour and do what you can, life becomes a lot simpler. Learn to play the game. There's so many songs out there. Queen's Play the Game, listen to the lyrics. It's all about learning how to play the game. This is a game, it's Hunger Games. It's Divergent, it's whatever you want to watch, whatever you want to listen to. Yeah? This is a game that's been in play for thousands of years, ever since the Bible was first written. Okay? Religion is what? What is religion? Religion. It's Roman, isn't it? Where the Romans went out and relegioned their armies by forcing people into the army. But it's a way of creating division, so they created religion. Religion's a division. Everything in this world is created to create division amongst us. How many people follow football teams? That was created to create division. Oh, City supporters having to go at United supporters, whatever, because they don't, oh, we're better than you. That's division. When are we going to come together and work as a friggin' internet of spiritual beings that we bloody are and stop fighting people? This is my problem with a lot of things. I see people, so-called big names in the fields, and I go, there's no such thing as a big name in this truth of movement. It's just friggin' big egos. And people out there preying on the vulnerable, praying out there to take money off you, Praying out there to say, oh yeah, we got this process. We're going to give me £5,000 and it'll work. And then when it doesn't work, they say, oh, you need to pay another £400 to get another consultation. Isn't that not just a scam? Yeah. People worry, but say to you, be careful of scam artists on telephones. Well, a lot of this truth movement, the truth movement, it is. It's one of the biggest psyops ever made, especially when it comes to helping people in financial trouble, because they don't want to help. They want to take your money but not help you. So I look at things and say, you individuals, and I'm using the word you because I can because I'm in the private, you need to work together, network together. I'm sure you're part of clubs. You should all be a part of the tribe of Leicestershire. You should be part of that. You should be working together as a community. Do you all know each other? No. Why not? Did you not say hello to people as they walked in? Did you not smile at people? Yeah. Wave at someone? Do you know a smile or a wave at someone actually activates them? Activates their spiritual being. Oh, hang on, someone waved at me. Someone smiled at me. You should really have a bit of homework tonight and get to know everyone in this room. Ask the names. Give them a hug. Which way do you hug? That way or that way? Always go to the right, heart to heart. The media go left to left because your hearts aren't aligned. If you go right to right, your hearts are aligned. You swap energies. So you have the power to do whatever you want to do. If you want to become part of our community, we'd love you to come and join. But we're not going to force feed anyone to come and join us. Never. Hello. £6 million a year. But we do a payment plan. We've been told we're too cheap. We've been told we're doing lots of things. We ask for $11.11 a month. That's it. And you'll get access to all the communities that's on there. We got healers, we got pets, we've got, what else we got there? We got shops, we got herbalists, nutritionists. We're getting more and more people joining the community at a time. We got people in Australia, New Zealand, Spain, Portugal, South Africa, all now starting to join because they can see what we're trying to do. Yes. 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 It's already in force. We're going to start crowdfunding soon to try and raise the funds to buy the land. The UK is difficult because we can buy land, 20 acres of land in Spain, for about £12,000. Okay? Over here you're paying hundreds of thousands. If we can get... I know. I mean, a friend of ours just bought an acre of land, I think it's about 2 acres. About 2 acres of land for just over €1,000 in Spain. But we're looking at 20 acres or more to create the community, then say to me, right, you've got a bolt hole. You want to come out and live here? Come out and live here. You can do it. Come out on a farmer's passport. I mean, we're coming up with new processes. We're getting away from, I'm not going to talk about it tonight because it's confidential information. It's only available in the community because it has to be kept that way. But these processes will help you never ever do a process ever again. It will release you financially. There are processes out there. People are trying, but there's one man we're going to see on Monday who's had multiple success with this one single process. He got £90,000 back for a guy the other day. And he's now working with many, many people, and he wants to give it to us. He wants to give it to the I Am community. Because he says, if we can get people out of paying people for processes, doing the 3-letter processes or whatever, but you do this one thing, you'll never have to do a process ever again in your life. Because you'll always have money coming.